First of all, what a crowd, what an atmosphere. What is this, 600-700 people here? Des the promoter has played a blinder again. He always puts a good event on here, gets the great stars in. So to get Anthony Joshua here, to me, I think you're mad. He's on a tour of the UK after training for 3 months for such a massive, massive fight. Why this? Why?
I came here. Well, firstly, thank you very, very much for your time this evening. The photos, talking with everyone has been nice. But I think I came here about 2.5 years ago. What's that? I can't hear. Well, I'll come back to that. I'm going to come back to that.
Ross!
We're going to come back to that as well. But 2.5 years ago, you can't do it all the time, but it works well. I work with Spencer and my team and stuff, and they say how great it is. And when I was first fighting and I was touring, when I was fighting in Birmingham, Newcastle, they told me how good it is when Hatton was doing these type of things, and like you meet up with people, you talk with people, and they get to know you personally. So I think it's brilliant because back then there was like 100 people, 200 people. Now it's growing, and I think, yeah, it's good that you can fight, but it's nice to have a personal touch with your supporters as well, and that's why I keep on doing these things.
I think we should probably start off with obviously what's just happened at Wembley because we seem to have forgotten about your career before that, but we'll get to that. We will talk about that.
Yeah.
You against Vladimir Klitschko, it was 90,000 people, Wembley Stadium, box office records, broke them. Did you realise the enormity of it before the fight actually happened itself?
No, remember me and you were talking in the physio room, and it was just one of those fights where I thought, well, when I fought Dylan, it was about pride. We didn't get along. It wasn't about technique, pride. Charles Martin, I wanted to go in there and not get touched because of the type of fight I had with Dylan. Dominic Brazil, I was so ill, I just thought, if this guy touches me, I'm going to collapse. So I thought, I can't get touched in this fight. Molina, I went in there with the mindset that Wilder went 9 rounds with him, I'm going to take him out sooner. Klitschko was a mindset where I said to myself, yeah, you could hear about all these things about the 90,000 and Klitschko wants to bounce back and so on and so forth. So I just said, it was weird because it wasn't about, all right, I'm going to practice on my jab solely or my footwork. This was just about, just be confident because you can crumble under pressure and in an arena like that and there's so many eyes on you. I didn't want to crumble under pressure because I know I can perform, but if I apply so much pressure on me, I think I won't perform. So I just went in there with confidence. And that's how I kind of dealt with it. So being in Sheffield, your manor, where we train, like the TVs and everything is dated. So we don't even really watch TV when we're out there. So we're away from all the build-up and stuff. But it was hard to stay away from it because where we train is so accessible. Like we train in a normal gym where there's like thousands of people in and out a day and people are like, 90,000, you ready? And it's just like, that's how I was mentally building myself up to be confident approaching that bout with Klitschko.
Okay, let's get to fight now. The ring entrance alone was a show. It was something special. How was you feeling when you walked out there into that massive stadium?
Yeah, it was overwhelming a bit, but it's interesting because this is the mindset of it all, right? When we're in the O2, it's smaller, and that ring walk is about 1 meter apart. So I'm like, I can engage with my supporters right there. They're like right there, I'm right there. And if you watch it in the O2, everyone's just kind of close. The arena's intimate. But Wembley, when I walked out, I was expecting that same type of feel, but it's so big that the ring walk was gigantic, and it was like peaceful. Walking to that ring, as I said, that confidence. The ring walk was so big that it wasn't like there wasn't people on top of you and stuff. So it just felt peaceful. Like the O2 feels more daunting because there's like people on top of you and like you've got to perform. You've got to perform in the O2 because it feels like everyone's watching. But at Wembley, it just felt open, and it's weird. Even though the stage was bigger, I felt more free to a certain degree.
You get big arena fighters. Before the talk was that Vladimir Klitschko was used to having 50,000, 60,000 people in the arena. The doubt was whether or not you could handle such such attention, such pressure, but you seem to have stepped up to the plate. Is that through focus, through the amateur preparation, what through the Olympics in London? What was it through? How comes you managed to do what a lot of fighters can't do, and that was handle the pressure?
All right, probably training's one thing, but then mentally, I think no matter what you do in life, you've got to be mentally strong. Even like, the most what people call successful people in the world can have nervous breakdowns and stuff like that. You've got to be so tough mentally. And I think that's what kind of spurred me on at the early stages in that. Like when I first started boxing, I think I was fighting for about 3.5 years, and it was just like from the amateurs to the Olympics, and I was a pro. So they always chucked me in the deep end, and it was either swim or sink. Do you know what I mean? And that's just how I've dealt with it. And I had to be mentally strong. And like it's just, early on with boxing, I'm not too sure if there's many amateur boxers, but it's just you and your goal, innit? It's no one else really bothers, if you know where I'm coming from. Like, you're just fighting with, it's you and your coach and your teammates, and that's it. So when we were grinding and putting in the work, you just got to be mentally strong that you know that you're going to try and win the ABAs and then win the GB championships, Europeans, and you're just going to keep on going. But it's all about you and your dream at that stage. So you've got to be mentally strong from early, I think, to keep on going.
Okay, let's talk Wembley. They were like sharks swimming around a ship. In the fighters that came over to watch this, the champions that came over to watch this, Deontay Wilder was there. Yeah. I'm quite sure fighters from all over the world were watching. Lennox Lewis was ringside. Evander Holyfield was at ringside. So they expected something special. Talk me through it from let's put the fight in two halves. From round 1 to round 5, how you saw it.
Yeah, I swear to you, I could probably talk to you through round by round, because you know what it's like, right? When you're fighting, I swear, a million things are running through your head. And even though you're supposed to be concentrating on the fight, there's a million things running through my head. So I was in the ring and I was standing, and I got in and I thought, fucking hell, this ring is tiny. That's the first thing I thought, this ring. So I thought, this is definitely going to be a toe-to-toe war, this one. Because normally when the ring's big, you can dance, you can move around, you can take your time. But when the ring's small, as soon as you take 2 steps forward, that's 2 steps apiece, you're face to face. So I thought, all right, cool. Then it took about 15 minutes when I was in the ring before we actually fought. So I like Tyson, and he used to stare people down. But when you're staring at someone for 15 minutes, it gets a bit boring. Then I'm staring at his brother, and then it was like, and I'm like, who am I supposed to stare at? Because now they're both staring at me. So I'm looking at my cousin and my boys and thinking, have you got my back here? Because it might kick off before the bell goes. And then the bell goes, so we come out now. Klitschko's dancing. His feet are looking good, and I thought, all right. And he's got this weird style where he throws his long jab at you, and it was just going poof, poof, off my arm. And I thought, fuck it, this guy's definitely been training. I swear, he felt strong. And it was one of them things where I thought, all right, cool. I know I can hurt him, and by the way he was coming forward, I thought he knows he can hurt me. So I thought it was one of them things where I said, I'm not going down here. I ain't gonna lose in Wembley in front of all these people. So I wanted to get to him, but it was like, I think he'd been definitely training on his feet in his defense. Because every time I tried to get to him, he would dance off, or he does a weird defense where he puts his right hand up. And normally when I hit someone with a left hook, it hits him on the glove, but this was hitting him on the shoulder. And it was like I was putting power into it, but it just looked like it wasn't having any effect, because I was hitting him on the shoulder and not on his head or his glove, and it just didn't make sense. And I was thinking, this is the first time I've had to deal with a style like this. So it was quite, it was a challenge to get to him and break him down. So in the ring, you start assessing, like as you're fighting, you're assessing your opponent and thinking, that's what he's throwing, that's what he's doing. But it was challenging breaking him down because he's so unique to anyone I fought.
Came to 5th round. That's for us, for the public. That's when the fight totally erupted. When you put Vladimir down. Did you think the fight was over then?
You could. I swear, you might have seen the picture, but like I was like, I went crazy, and I thought I'd done it. I thought this guy, right? I thought, all right, cool. He was so hard to hit in the first 4 to 5, and I thought I finally got him. I ain't gonna let him off the hook now, because normally, all right, I like to. This is a sport, but you got to batter people, and I enjoy it. So when I hit him, boom, and he's gone down, I thought, that's it now. I'm going to step up the pace. So I try hit him again, and it's like he got this new lease of energy, because I think he probably went through what I went through in the first round, where he thought, I ain't going to let this boy beat me here. Do you know what I mean? So we both had that determination in us. And I think then it didn't become about the belts or anything. It was just about determination of both of us saying, whoever wants it more is going to prevail. So I tried to take him out to finish him in the 5th round. That was my plan. When I dropped him, which I should have learned to take my time, I said, I'm going to finish him. But I didn't. He started throwing big shots at me. And I'm like, it's like I needed to catch my second win. I needed to start building up my energy again, because boxing with Klitschko, it could have been a 12-round close fight. But I know if I explode on him, I could take him out. So I just needed to build my energy back up again so I can start letting 4 or 5 punch combinations go on him.
It was an emotional roller coaster, because that round you put Klitschko down. The fans, everybody that was watching it on TV went absolutely crazy. Then came the 6th round. Yeah, so everybody's happy and elated, thinking, oh my God, this is it. He's done it. AJ's done it. Then the 6th round came, something that we've never seen. You getting put on your backside. Do
you know what, right? Crazy mistake by the corner. There was water in the ring. I slipped in the 6th. I slipped. I was rolling on the floor, so I tried to play a trick. You know what? He caught me with a sweet right hand, and I didn't even see it, because he's fainted. He's fainted with the jab left hook, and it's kind of like come in my view, and whoop, bang. It was a good right, and I'll give him that. But I knew, even though I didn't see it, it wasn't enough to kind of knock me unconscious. You know, even though I was getting tired and stuff. I think that's what determination is about, really.
There was an exchange of words between you both that round. That's when the talking started between you. Can you tell these like what was said?
That was later on.
Okay, let's go later on. What was the exchange of words?
If you let me through this round, I'm going to knock you the fuck out. It's crazy. Excuse my language. But see, as I say it, you might watch it in, I think it's the 10th round or the 9th round, and you might be able to lip read, because I can see what I said, because I know what I said. And then, but he looked at me and was like, all right, I'm going to knock you out. And I thought, fuck. I thought, this guy's going to come and kill me now. So I thought, I need to just defend. So I'm defending now, and I finally get him. And do you know what? What people don't realize is that I'll give a massive, I give everything to Robert McCracken, Tony Sims, Max McCracken, Seltz, my cornermen, because they've done a phenomenal job in the corner to give me the directions, instruction. Like, it's easy to forget those guys, do you know what I mean? They done a phenomenal job in the corner, you know. And it's like they gave me the confidence and that boost of energy, that belief, that talking to make me get up and go out there and fight and defend those belts and keep them here.
I think in this job, teamwork is everything.
Teamwork is, for sure.
And before the fight, my concern was that between you and your corner, there was respect. Between Klitschko and his corner, he was the boss. So they kind of said to him, boss, what are we doing today? So when it came to a tough time in the fight, you went back to your corner and you hung on their every word and you respected what they had to say.
Yeah,
but for Klitschko, do you think he was in the same position when he went back to his corner? Do you think he respected Banks and his team that much to say, you guys know enough to help me out here?
I think you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So I think they might have been telling him to pressure me more, but I was moving. But maybe he thought to himself, what he thought was best is that, all right, I know this kid's tired and he's never been 12 rounds before. Like, all them little things. Inexperienced, hasn't been fighting long, so I know I'm going to pressure him out of a 12-round fight and win it that way. Where my corner was screaming different instructions, and I was building up my energy, building up my confidence. So I think that they might have been telling Klitschko, and if you watch it back, you'll see Klitschko's corner run round the ring and telling him come forward and knock me out. But maybe he just knows that he can control a fight, and all it takes. What I fought in round 1 is one shot. He's got that power in one punch to kind of hurt someone. So I think he was waiting, but he just didn't find the opportunity, and I think that cost him massively. Because, you know, heavyweight boxing, that's what makes it interesting. One punch changes the course of a fight.
The public, they saw the fight. They saw a side of you that they'd never seen before. And most people...
That's my backside.
Most people...
That's my backside.
Most people that were in here thought, this is it, the fight's over. But then came the 11th round, and that's where the real drama began.
Yeah.
Talk us through that 11th round.
So, like, it was 6, I went down. 7, 8 was like, all right, shaking it off, you know, watching what was going on and kind of gauging him. 9th, I think that's when I started speaking to him. 10th, I started trading with him again. And 11th, I just knew that this was my time. Because I thought, you know what, I can win on points, but I don't want it to be one of them fights that there's any controversy. Because it was that good of a fight, do you know what I mean, back and forth. So I thought, I'm going to step up the gas here and kind of explode. 5 punch combinations, 4 punch combinations. And I started the 11th fast. And as I said, when I can see someone's hurt, I don't let them off. And that's what heavyweight fighting is about. So I tried it in the 5th, he come back. And in the 11th, I swear, I said, this geezer I ain't going to let him off the hook. But I got him out, we got a victory. And then we go again at the end of the year. And that's how boxing goes, man.
Now, if you weren't lucky enough to be at Wembley Stadium, once the show had finished and everybody was celebrating in pubs, bars, at home and everything, you didn't see Anthony stay in the ring for 2 hours afterwards with his mates doing selfies, signing autographs and stuff like that. And most fighters just want to get the fuck out of there and get in the dressing room and just think about it. But you thought you were enjoying it like with your mates.
Yeah, like, you know what's weird is that when you're heading to the ring and you're fighting, it's different. But as soon as it's done, you might see it in the fight. As soon as the ref waved it off, I gave Klitschko a smile and a nod, and I just strolled back to the other corner. And it was like I just took in the atmosphere. And that's why I was like, that was my time to enjoy what you lot have enjoyed.
That's the difference, because in a fight like that, you'd hit your man, you'd put him down, you'd run back to the corner because you want that 10 seconds to start quick.
Yeah.
You smashed him and swaggered back as though, all right, we'll do this again if you want.
I think
it was that smile, that look that you gave him, and I thought, shit. And he looked at you at the same time.
Yeah.
And then you turned around and all you saw he was walking away.
Walk back, yeah. I just think that, all right, I'm not the best, I'm not this, but I know I'm going to get to you. So now 12, I know I got the time, I'm going to get to him, So it's just that you can give him 20 seconds, you know, whatever, it don't matter to me. It's a 12-round fight. And I just think that, not cocky, but I'm confident that I'm going to pin him down sooner or later. And that's all it is. That's why I don't run back.
So there was a documentary on the Monday, I think, on the BBC, and it showed AJ with his mates and everything. And there's a line that stands out to me that he said, you were in your old gym and you were joking on the punch bag or something. You said, this boxing's like a hobby that got out of hand.
Yeah, it is. And it's like a hobby that got out of hand, man. Like, carry on, sorry. It's true, though.
So you started at 18 years old. You weren't even interested in boxing?
Nah, I wasn't following like the greats, Muhammad Ali, Holyfield, Tyson, no interest. What was there? In school, I think it was football. You know, everyone wanted to be a footballer in school. Huh? So I'm saying, my old man never really grew up supporting the team, so I never had that engraved in me, so, nah. We all do. Even Johnny does. We all do.
So, and you see, it's something like that where Vladimir Klitschko had been champion, been reigning for over 10 years.
Yeah, long time.
Not many people that probably didn't know much about boxing, didn't know who the heavyweight champion was. Yeah. You rock up. You do what you do. Now everybody is into boxing. It's in the gyms. It's in the schools.
That's what it's about.
Kids, men, women, and children. And you gave a speech afterwards, and it was wasn't about you. It was about your crew. It was about your team. It was about motivating the others. Yeah. Is that the message that you wanted to send across?
100%. You can forget about me when I'm done. I want to see the next group of fighters come through. That's what I'm about, really. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I talk about, the amateur boxers and all that coming through. As I said, if I can move forward and bring everyone with me, I'd rather do that, because I think you can't sit at a table and eat alone like this. There's got to be people with you, and that's what boxing's about. You know what I mean?
How do you manage to keep your feet on the ground? Because obviously the trappings of the sport are going to to get bigger. But you seem to be the same person you were, your same crew, your same friends, your same movements you were before you got to this stage.
What is it? Maybe, I don't know. You got to ask yourself, what do you do it for? What do I do it for? That is a question. What do I do it for?
Why did you do boxing? Why do it?
Probably, as you said, it's a hobby. Well, first of all, please, I want to... Ben, Big Ben, this is my cousin here. I don't know if you know him or not. He was a heavyweight boxer.
Not the white guy that stood up. That's
not the white
guy. He means the guy in the black t-shirt.
I mean that guy, yeah, the big black guy. Yeah, so credit to him. He took me down to boxing gym, and that was as a hobby. I just went down. I used to drive down with him, and then it was like, yeah, I could do this boxing. This is easy. And I just used to get my head punched in, and it was like, whoa. And it's a hobby that got out of hand, and I think then it's the loyalty that my coaches have shown me. As I said, my amateur coaches have like dedicated weekdays, weekends to me when I was 18, 19, driving me up and down the country to come and fight and train in different places. So I was like, how can I not pay them back by being disciplined myself? Do you know what I mean? So I think it's loyalty that keeps me going.
So you've told a story about you getting into boxing, but yeah. my question is, but why did you stick at it? Because when I boxed to make friends, that's it. That was it. It was a good unity. It was a good setup. You know, I didn't care if I won or lost, but everybody's story, everybody's motivation is different. Why did you box? Why did you stick at it?
I think to myself, what would I do if I wasn't boxing? Do you know what I mean? And that's what keeps me going because...
Are you still thirsty? Because you get some fighters that when they start boxing, they just want to be a British champion. Once they become British champion, it's hard for them to get up at stupid o'clock in the morning to run every day because they've reached a goal. Some it's European, some it's Commonwealth, some it's world title, but you got the world title.
All right.
Your thirst wasn't quenched.
Yeah. Because I've always said, even when I fought Brazil, that's why I don't like parading with the belts because I always say that the belts don't make me. Like without the belts, I was training like a champion. Do you know where I'm coming from? So when I used to watch, the best way to describe it is you would watch Tyson, Holyfield, these guys and Sugar Ray Leonard when we were 18. Watch them throw a combination on the bag, try to do it in the gym. So what I mean by that is you would try and train like the champions. So now that the belts are involved, it don't make me any different because I always had that hunger. So it's just something that being around the old school, ingrained in the new school, and then I just take it with me. So I won't lose that hunger. And I think with or without boxing, I'll still be on my hustle trying to make something. It's just the way life goes, really. It's not just about boxing, it's who you are. And that's even in that fight with Klitschko. Styles make fights. It was a tough fight. And in a fight like that, it's about who you are. Because when you're knackered and your skills go out the window and everything you've been learning goes out the window, it's a test of character as well as skill. So it's just who you are.
Costamado, a famous trainer, but he trained Mike Tyson. He was a great historian of the game. He said you can have two fighters with the same ability. It's the one with the strongest character that will always come out on top. That's what we saw in this fight with AJ and Klitschko. Both fighters had character, but it's the one that had the strongest character. And I've watched that fight 8 times. How many times have you watched it?
I'll be honest, I swear to you, that was my third time because I watched it with the boys. I watched it myself, round 1 to 5. And then I took time and then watched 6 to 12. And then I watched it with the boys in the kitchen at breakfast. And then this is the third time I watched it.
So how do you break it down? I break it down, there's 3 ways I look at it. I look at a fight and I look at the reaction. Instead of watching the fight, I'm watching the crowd on the video. And then I'm watching, when I'm under pressure, I'm looking at how high I handle it. And then when I'm on top, I'm looking how I'm handling it. How was you dissecting it? Yeah, when you watched it.
I could have done better. I swear to God, it's a boring answer, but it's true. I think, why didn't I just whoop him early? Why didn't I just take him out early? But I think it would have been good, but would it have been the fight that it was? But I think, it was a good fight. Generally, my coach would tell me all my mistakes, but intense, entertainment, British boxing at Wembley down the road, it ticked all those boxes, and I'm happy about that. Now, we got to go back and be critics and be like, that was that. And I think when I look at it from a critical point of view, I say, do you know what I mean? I'm going to give you the answer from a fighter's point of view. I've got to go in there and get my head punched in. I can't just sit back and get my head punched in and think, oh, that was a good fight. So I've got to go in, I've got to be a critic of my own success, do you know what I mean?
You probably learned more in that one fight than you did the 18 fights before.
100. I swear, I watch boxing different now. And I always remember when people used to say, oh, look at that fighter, he throws a feint here or this right hand here. And I'd be like, I just agree with him, but I could never see it. But now, after that fight, I think I really understand boxing that little bit more now. And it's done me a world of good for sure.
Okay, let's get a little personal for the ladies in the house. Do you
see my cousin getting excited over there?
Do you actually live at home with your mother?
Yeah, of course.
So
but there's always a hotel available.
Why?
I'm joking. We've got to bring a bit of banter to the table. Johnny's cracking. Huh?
Whoa.
I'm not going to say that.
I had to ask a question. So away from boxing, look at his cousin laughing because he knows. So away from boxing, what's life away from boxing? Because you're one of the few fighters that I sense doesn't like. Even though when the camera's in front of you, the microphone's in front of you, you do a great job. But you're happy to be away from the limelight. So what's life away from the limelight? I hear you do motocross. What do you do?
What do I do? Motocross came because on the estate, all the boys had the motorbikes, the Cub 90s, them little pizza bikes and all that, quads. And then I could never get one. So you'll stand at the back of the queue, waiting all day for a go. And so now I got older, I bought my own. So I ride my own bikes now. Loads of the boys from the estate are older now, so we've got bikes. What else do I do?
Do they still treat you the same on the estate? The
Yeah.
the lady at the shop, you know.
Nah, they don't let me shop. They don't let me shop anymore. But it is what it is. What else do I do? Nah, I don't watch Coronation Street. I don't watch Coronation.
Does your mum get it? Even though everybody here knows how much you've achieved, and you're at home, your mama's boy. Does your mum get you what you've achieved?
Yeah. So I think it was when I had my son. You know, when I had my son, me and my mum got proper close, and I started talking to her more. So you know what it's like when I was younger. You don't really talk to your family. I was out a lot. I would express probably like some people, quiet when they have a drink, they're loud. When I'm at home, I'm quiet. When I'm out, I'm a different character. So I started getting closer to her, but I had to teach her. So she could read what was in the paper and then maybe believe what was in the paper. But I'll say, why are you reading that? I said, why don't you just ask me? So I had to teach her that not everything you hear is always going to be the truth. So just listen, just talk to me. So I had to teach her about the doings of the business I was in and where I was going. And she gets it now. What else do I get up to? The boys will be able to tell you better, right? Listen, I definitely have fun. That's for sure. I definitely have fun. But there's a million ways. Look at this. This is what I do. This is fun. As I said, for me, and you said about the limelight, I swear to you, I would trade places with anyone in this room, and someone could come up here, and I'll sit there like you and listen to their story. So this is fun for me, whether I'm on this side or that side. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, let's ramp the fun up a little bit. I'm going to come down and I'm going to take 10 questions from the audience. Don't be drunk ones.
Round 6 of the fight, when you went down, did you go down on purpose?
Yeah, of course.
No, I meant like, was it like tactical?
I slipped.
Was it tactical or?
Nah, listen, it was a sweet shot. It was a sweet shot, but it was, as I said, I didn't see the shot. It was a very quick right hand. And then, but it didn't knock me out, you know where I'm coming from. It was just a quick shot, got to my feet before the count of 10, and then he come out, and I knew where I was and stuff, but it wasn't one of those shots that I think could have knocked me out, and it was just he swung us one of those haymaker left hooks, and I see it, and just rolled underneath it, and then just moved around and evaded any other punches he was trying to throw, because a fighter tries to kill you once they see that you're hurt.
Question from Gemma from Ashton.
AJ, so we like your moves in the ring. Have you got the moves out of the ring? What's your best dance moves?
I got them loose hips.
I like your music. See you getting down to Tupac and that. So
Where's the musicians here? Where are the musicians here? Definitely, I like my music.
Spit some balls.
No way.
Spit some bars, spit some bars.
They need a beat.
If you give a beat, I'm sure we can get to spit
Johnny,
some
give
out.
my cousin a microphone so he can beatbox for me.
Really? All right. Cuz, get up there. Get up there. Come on. Get up there. Get him up there. I'm coming out. Get up there. You can hide. Come on. Next question. We haven't finished yet. You better think of something quick because I'm coming to you.
Anthony.
Yeah.
Hello.
You're right, mate.
We know you trained with Vladimir a few years before your fight.
Yeah.
Did that help you to get insight into his style, his technique, and did that give you an advantage?
Clearly not the type of fight it was. I went in Vladimir Klitschko's camp. I swear to you, I had about 9 fights at the time, and I just wanted to see how he was like his organization, what time he woke up, what type of running or whatever he was doing. Do you know what I mean? So I just took pictures and I kind of saw how he set up his training camp. He got a very professional, very military type of setup, very organized team. So I took that away, but it wasn't so much about the sparring. I weren't there to prove anything. You know what? Sparring is completely different to a fight, so I weren't there to try and win a sparring match. I just wanted to analyze how he set up his training camp. That was it.
Got one from Trevor, yes. Stand up, mate.
Yes, AJ?
How you doing?
Muhammad Ali's legacy is that he transcended the sport of boxing, yeah?
Yeah.
So in years to come, let's hopefully you're successful as him. What would your legacy lot be?
See, I find that interesting. What would my legacy have been? Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question now. And he definitely transcended the sport. And he was very verbal, the way he spoke, dressed, carried himself. Now, and he was a phenomenal fighter. So I've won a few belts. Yeah, we've unified the heavyweight division. Now, I think, do I need the trash talk, the other side of the boxing in order to create that legacy? Because if we're going to look at what Ali done, you can only do what the greats have done. So look at Mayweather, he has that trash talk. Do I need that trash talk to cross over? Do you know what I mean? So, but then what would the legacy be? I don't know, because I think you can easily be forgotten in sport because, you know what I mean?
I think
that's what I find interesting. I don't know what my legacy would be, actually. I don't know.
I don't think you'll be forgotten in sport because I think you've transcended sport. You've managed to cross over to all shapes and sizes to inspire people. That's what Ali did. That's what fights have done before. So that's probably the difference. And you probably stand yourself a little
now
short.
because before I was fighting every other month. Now I'm not fighting so regularly. Maybe I can find time to do, go back to gyms and do charity work and stuff that, you know what I mean, build your legacy. So maybe that's a good time to start doing stuff like that.
I've got a question from me, Julie.
Julie.
Hello, baby. Hi. Yes, I am Scouse. Right? But that doesn't mean to say I'm here to rob your cars or anything. Hello, baby. The question I'd like to ask is, of all the opponents that you've faced in the world, who scares you the most, or is it your mum?
Who scares me the most out of my opponent? I swear to God, Robert McCracken, my coach. I can go in there in the room when I wake up. I'm thinking, "Fuck this boxing! I'm tired, man. I can't be bothered with this shit anymore." I'm going nuts. And I get to the gym, and Rob's like, "Josh, how you feeling, mate? You ready?" "Yeah, I'm feeling great, coach. I'm ready to go." Do you know what I mean? And I think that's just the fear of him showing my weakness. So I respect him and fear him too much to ever let him down.
I've got a question from Steve here. It's about respect and fear for your training, so I get that.
Right, AJ, earlier you mentioned about Klitschko's brother giving you the eye.
Yeah.
After the fight, he said something to you, Vitaly. Can you actually say what that was?
Do you know what? We were lost in communication. He's from Ukraine, I'm from Great Britain, so we were lost in communication, but what it was, right, is that after the fight, he's very protective over his brother, I think. So when I went over to speak to him, I think maybe I was still in that mode, but I was showing Vladimir that respect, that as a fighter to a fighter, well done. And his brother come over and kind of tried to muscle in, but I was there like, what's this geezer playing at? Do you know what I mean? Like, try to come shoulder to shoulder a bit and forget records and that. I'm not into all that records and stuff. This is about person to person. I thought you don't do stuff like that. So they come and not ripped us, but I was like, whoa, relax. You've had a good fight. But he was protecting his brother, and I was just kind of protecting myself. And we just walked off and left it there, really. But in that type of fight, after the fight, remember, fighters are still heated. Even though it's done, it's not done probably until you're back home with your family, because it can still kick off in the changing rooms, in the press conference after. So there's still a lot of tension in the ring.
Got a question from Jane. Nice one.
Hi, Anthony.
Hello.
If we go back in history and you could fight anyone, regardless of the era, who would you fight?
Who would I fight? That's a good question. Who would I fight? I like Holyfield. You know why? Because Holyfield can box. You know, he can jab, 1-2 hook, and he can mess you up on the inside with body shots, uppercuts. So I think with Holyfield, what I'm saying with him, he will slug it out till the end, because it don't matter if you're battering him on the inside and hitting him with those uppercuts, because he knows how to defend and come straight back. It don't matter if you're moving around the ring and trying to jab with him like Ali would dance, because he can do exactly the same thing. So I like Holyfield because he's an all-round fighter, in my opinion.
I got a question from Tommy in Hull. This is a bit controversial, so let's see how this one goes down.
Yes, Big AJ.
How you doing, Tommy?
We had the bad boy pose before.
Yeah, we knuckled up there. Yes.
Everyone in the room wants to know, when it comes to the big man, we all know, Tyson Fury. No, whoa, don't get it twisted. I'm an AJ fan.
Yeah.
We all want to know what went down when you sparred him, and how you're going to deal with him if he drops the weight. Because we all know he's a bit of a big fella at the minute and he needs to lose some pounds. Yeah. If it happens, are you going to deal with him?
Well,
how are you going to do it?
Sparring, you know. I was young, and we had a good few rounds, you know. So big respect to Fury, and that's like the respect I have for all fighters. But now, if we're talking competition, I think Fury can move well and confuse you, but when it's all said and done, I just think you can't run for 12 rounds. Not right now against me. I think I'll pin you down. You know? So yeah, we'll catch up. He's as I said, like all fighters, I give him respect. They're all talented, but I think in a 12-round fight, I won't let you off the hook that easy, and I'll slowly get to you, and I'll catch up with you sooner or later in that ring.
I've got a question from No Man here. Now, he was saying to me earlier on that you weighed nearly 18 stone for your last fight, a career heaviest. What's your question?
I was just in the gym the other day, and I was telling a few of my mates I'm going to see Anthony Joshua on the weekend, and what question would they like me to ask? And we were all intrigued of how much do you bloody eat?
Too much. You know what I did like an idiot? So I'm still learning, all right? So what we've learned is that it's the 3 months before the 3 months of training camp. So after my last fight with Melina, I took a holiday. Yeah, and I was eating, do you know what it is? I didn't want to start pumping weights to get bigger. So I was eating everything. Chocolates, lamb chops, chips, burgers. And then when I come back to training, my coach looked at me like, what have you been doing, man? So I spent the first 4 or 5 weeks trying to cut the weight down. And as I said, but my goal, I was thinking, all right, heavyweights. When I watched like George Foreman's and that, like they're big, but I've just got a physique that when I train, I lose a lot of weight and I just start cutting up, and I didn't want to look like that anymore. So I started eating more to kind of beef up a bit. And it was just hard to cut the weight for the fight. So now I've got to start training on Monday because of the mistake I made going away. So I don't think if you watch my next fight, I think I'll come in a lot lighter due to the fact that we have to start training already. So we're learning, and I learned from that. Don't eat too much like lamb chops and chips when I'm on a break.